Hello students and welcome back to CBSE Tech Talks. Imagine you are trying to make a tea for the first time. What would happen if you randomly mix milk, tea leaves, sugar and water without following any steps? The tea may not taste good at all. In the same way, computers also need proper steps to solve problems. These steps are called algorithms. Today we are going to learn what problem solving is, the problem solving cycle, decomposition, algorithm, flowcharts, pseudocode, verifying algorithm and comparing algorithm. By the end of this video, you will understand how programmers think and solve problems step by step. First of all, introduction to problem solving. Problem solving means finding a solution to a challenge or difficulty. Every day we solve problems, for example, finding out shortest route to school, organizing homework, cooking food, fixing a mobile phone issue. In computer science, problem solving means creating logical steps so that a computer can perform a task. A programmer must think carefully before writing code. If the solution is poorly planned, the program may fail. That is why problem solving is one of the most important skills in programming. Let's take an example. A student wants to calculate the average marks of three subjects. So the steps will be taken like this. Take marks as input, add all marks, divide by 3, display the average. Notice that we solve the problem step by step. This is called logical problem solving. Now the next one is problem solving cycle. The problem solving cycle is a sequence of steps followed to solve problems in systematic way. Programmers use this cycle to create reliable and efficient software. The main stages are analyzing the problem, developing the algorithm, coding, testing and debugging, implementing and maintenance. Analyzing the problem means before solving any problem, we must understand it properly. We ask questions such as what is the problem, what input is needed, what output is expected, what conditions should be followed. I will be explaining this using an example. A school wants software to calculate students' grade. So how to analyze the problem? Input will be student marks and output we want final grades. And the rules will be, let's take an example, above 90 grade A, above 75 grade B, otherwise grade C. Step 2 will be developing the algorithm. After understanding the problem, programmer creates step-by-step instruction. These instructions are called algorithm. Example, start, input marks, check marks, range, assign grade, display grade and stop. Third part will be coding. Coding means converting the algorithm into a programming language. Programmer may use languages such as Python, Java, C++, JavaScript or any other. Fourth step will be testing and debugging. After coding, the program is tested carefully. Testing checks whether the program works correctly. And debugging means finding and fixing bugs. There are three types of errors basically when we talk about debugging: syntax error, logical error, and runtime error. If a problem shows wrong grades, programmer trace the logic and convert mistakes, or you can say correct mistakes. Step 5, implementing and maintenance. After successfully testing, the software is implemented for user. Implementation means installing and using the software in real situation. Maintenance means updating and improving the software regularly. Examples: a school management system may need bug fixes, new features, security update, and performance improvement. Now the next one is problem solving using debugging. Sometimes problems are very large and complicated. Instead of solving the whole problem at one go, programmer break it into smaller parts. This is called decomposition. Real life example: organizing a school annual function so that the complete program can be broken into small tasks like arranging invitations, manage stage decoration, organize music, arrange for food, and manage seating. Each small task becomes easier to handle. For example, creating an online shopping website, we can decompose it: login system, product display system, shopping cart, payment system, and the last one is order tracking, whether the order has reached or about to reach. The next one is advantages of decomposition. Decomposition make the complete program, or you can say system, easier to understand. It is easy to test, saves time, team members can work separately, and then even reduces errors also. Next one is designing algorithm. An algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem. Algorithms are very important because computers follow instructions exactly as given. Let's take an example, real life example. Algorithm for making tea. So I told you in the beginning, you are putting everything in one go. Now we will go step by step. So first of all, we have to boil water, then add tea leaves, add sugar, add milk, boil again, and then serve tea. Every daily activity follows algorithm. Now when we talk about example which is given here, finding the largest number. So algorithm is, first of all we have to start, input two numbers A and B. Then after that we have to compare A and B. If A is greater than B, display A. Else means we are not taking in this case when the value of A and B both are given. We can go with that, but that will be nested if. So else display B and stop. Purpose and characteristics of an algorithm. The purpose is to increase the reliability, accuracy, and efficiency of obtaining solution. And there are some characteristics of algorithm which need to be taken into consideration. It should be clear, logical, efficient, finite. Finite means there should be the finite number of steps. After that, algorithm stops, and easy to understand. Flowchart. Flowchart is a graphical representation of an algorithm. Flowchart uses symbols to show steps visually. They help programmer understand logic easily. There are some symbols used. If you see, the first symbol is for start and end, also known as terminator. It indicates us where the flow starts and where it ends. The next one, that is a rectangle, is for process, also known as action symbol. It represents the process, action, or a single step. The third one is rhombus, or you can say it is decision box. A decision or a branching point usually have a yes or no, or you can say true or false question is asked, and based on the answer the path gets split into two branches. The next one is rhombus, which is very important for input and output, also called data symbol. This is parallelogram, in fact, not rhombus, because we have sometimes we have to extend it, so it can maybe rhombus or parallelogram in shape used to input or output data, and the arrow lines shows the connector, which side the symbols are connected. Now this is an example of flowchart to check even or odd number. So first of all, we have to take a number. Check remainder after dividing by 2. We know that odd numbers give remainder 1 while even number gives remainder 0, and then display result. If you see flowchart, start input number, if number modulus 2. So modulus 2 is to get the remainder. You are dividing by 2, and if you are getting equals to 0, if condition is yes, it means if remainder is coming 0, you are displaying even number, and if it is not giving you 0 as a remainder, you are displaying odd number, and in both the cases we have only one and, or you can say one stop. Now advantages of flowchart: easy to understand, it helps detection errors, improve communication, useful for planning programs. Now the next one is pseudocode. It is written in simple English. It helps programmer plan logic before actual coding. It is programming language independent. It means we are not using any syntax. Easy to understand. Now there is one example given here. If you are adding two numbers, so we start input A, input B. So in one or some programming language, maybe input A is a syntax, or you can say identifier, and you write this way statement, but all are mentioned capital here, so you have to go with the case sensitive according to the languages. Sum equals to A plus B, and display sum and stop. So this is false coding. It is pseudo itself is telling that false coding. It is not the exact coding, but it gives you the idea of coding. Next one is verifying algorithm. Algorithm must be tested to check correctness. Now it consists of two things. One is dry run helps detect mistakes, and the next one is trace table shows variable values, and it ensures accurate output. Example is A equals to 5, B equals to 3, sum equals to 8. If it is coming something like that, we check it. Comparing algorithms. Now when we different algorithms can solve same problem in different ways. Algorithms are compared on the basis of speed and memory usage. Two important concepts are there: time complexity for measuring the speed, and the speed complexity for space complexity for measuring memory. Example, you can take linear search versus binary search. In linear search, we search each and we compare the search element with each element of list, while in the binary search we arrange the elements in either ascending or descending order, and we divide the list into two parts, and then we check the middle term. So the number of comparisons are less in it. The next one is activity which I would like you to try on your own. Design an ATM withdrawal algorithm. Think about inputs, decisions and outputs. Then only you can go with. Create a flowchart for the process. Discuss improvements with your classmates or with the friends, or even if you want you can write, I will respond to that. Steps I have given you: insert card, enter pin and withdraw cash. So this will help you how the ATM works. Next one is conclusion. Problem solving is an important skill in programming and daily life. Algorithm, flowcharts and pseudocodes help programmers design solutions effectively. Regular practice improves logical thinking and programming skills. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to CBSE Tech Talks for more educational videos.